Hi guys, welcome to this video looking at ways we can prevent rusting. Okay then, let's start off with a reminder that when iron reacts with water and oxygen, it forms hydrated iron oxide, which is rust. Now, you can find out much more information on rusting and corrosion in the video that's appearing in the top right hand side of the video now, but for now we want to talk about preventing rust. And to prevent rust we need to stop water and or oxygen from reacting with the iron in the first place. And there are three main ways that you need to learn. Number 1, physical barriers. Number 2, electroplating. And number 3, sacrificial protection. If we start off with physical barriers then, the primary aim is to stop oxygen and water from getting to the iron. And there are three ways that physical barriers can do this. Number 1, you can coat them with paint. Number 2, you can cover them in oil. And number 3, you can surround them with plastic coating. All three of these are a way to stop oxygen or water from getting to the surface. The second method on preventing rusting is electroplating, which is a little bit more complex, and to do it you need to use electrolysis. You start off with the metal that you want to protect attached to the cathode, and then put an unreactive metal as your anode. The next thing you need to do is make sure that your electrolyte, which if you remember is a liquid that contains ions, and you make sure that contains the same unreactive ions. So for example, using silver as your anode and silver nitrate as the electrolyte. When you then carry out the electrolysis, the silver ions from the anode will move to the cathode and coat the iron, protecting it from oxygen and water. And then the final method is sacrificial protection. Let's say we had an iron nail and we wanted to stop it from rusting. We can wrap the nail with a more reactive metal, such as zinc. This metal will then over time oxidize instead of the iron nail. The oxygen will get to that first. And an example of that is a ship's hull. As you can see here, there's a metal attached at various points to the ship, and this will help to prevent the rusting of the hull of the ship. That's nearly everything. However, there is one more term you need to know, which is galvanizing, which is a combination of these methods we've just talked about. So for example, iron or steel buildings can be electroplated or dipped in molten zinc. This acts as a physical barrier, stopping the oxygen or water from getting to the steel. If that metal gets scratched or damaged, it will also act as a sacrificial protection because it's more reactive than the iron, so it will oxidize first. So it's a combination of physical barrier and sacrificial protection. Right, that's everything you need to know. So let's look at a few questions that the examiner can throw at you. So I've got one for you here which says electroplating and sacrificial protection are both examples of ways to prevent rusting. Part 1, name another way to prevent rusting, which is worth 1 mark. Part 2, explain how sacrificial protection can be used to prevent rusting, which is worth 2 marks. And number 3, explain how electroplating can be used to prevent rusting. Pause the video, have a go at the questions, and we'll go through the answers when you're done. Right, let's see how you've got on. Part 1, name another way to prevent rusting. Any type of physical barrier will get you the mark here, such as painting, coating in oil, coating with plastic, and you should also get the mark if you just say physical barriers. Part 2, explain how sacrificial protection can be used to prevent rusting. The key thing here is saying you need to attach a more reactive metal. That will guarantee you the first mark. You then need to explain your reasoning, and that is because the metal will oxidize instead of the metal that you're trying to protect. That will get you your second mark. The last part then, explain how electroplating can be used to prevent rusting. To get 3 marks here, you need to mention that the anode must have a less reactive metal than the metal that you want to protect. That's going to get you your first mark. You then need to say that the electrolyte should have the same ions in it, which will get you the second mark. And then finally, you need to mention the ions from the unreactive metal will move and be added to the surface of the cathode, the metal you want to protect. That's going to get you your third mark. That's the end of this video then. I have got a review question for you if you want to have a go at it, which is steel structures can be protected from rust by galvanizing. Explain how galvanizing can be used to prevent steel from rusting, which is worth 6 marks. If you want to see if you're right, put the answers in the comments below and I'll let you know. Hi guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please click on like down below. You can also subscribe to my channel, you can check out the latest video, and you can visit my website up above here. Bye now.